Okay, this is a strange keep because we only have 2 coloured lands, but I just want to see what happens, really. Guiding Project, pretty good to push us into the late game, and the Brawl's expertise could legit bounce all their stuff. Probably not the best answer for a deck that cares about ETBs, or sorry, Cast Trigger Cascade, but we'll show what happens here, Master Brush. Okay, nice. So we do actually have access to all 3 colours now. So let's go for Hedge Maze. I do love these Surveil lands. They just really help get rid of stuff you're not really interested in. We've already got 4 lands anyway, so 5 colour. Will it be actual slivers? It might be. They've just named slivers. Huh. Unless it's just for the commander. Kind of interesting, wouldn't it? I'm not really interested in going for the Kellan yet. I think I'm happy to wait, go for the project, and then Kellan, because then at least we draw a card, and we might be at 5 mana by then. And if we're at 5 mana, we'll have enough mana for the Heroic Intervention. I mean, this might be not a great idea. Slivery doodahs, okay. Let's go for the Guardian Project. Could be risk, but you know, sometimes you need to take things a bit slower. Appreciate the synergies. They're going to blow up now, aren't they? I wouldn't have thought so. That's not a sliver. That is not a sliver, my friend. So I'm really hoping we draw a green source. Just so we can either go for the Mystic or... You know, of course they have a wash away. It's a sliver deck. Why wouldn't they? Salute. Oh, I hate that card. I hate that card so much. Chromatic Lantern. Well, that's annoying. Yeah, that's really quite annoying, to be honest. Okay, well, let's go for the Mystic here. Missing land drops really does suck. Let's kill the first sliver. It is very sucky, considering all of my decks have 40 lands. It does happen from time to time, and of course they can just recast the first sliver here, which is just obnoxious. Oh, and they get a sliver that taps for any colour. Okay. That's super annoying. That is very annoying indeed. And of course... fine. We'll bounce 1, 2, 3 things, which is kind of annoying because I get to recast. Oh no, well, we'll go for Teferi, I suppose.
Let's slow this down.
What? I'm a bit speechless about that. They had full dominance over us. I mean, okay, let's go through the scenario there. Yeah, let's just go through. The Teferi -3 is to bounce the first sliver to their hand. We then draw a card, potentially a land, we'll play land. Okay, so we have nothing else left. In their turn, they have a Blade back sliver, which can then single-handedly kill and threaten the Teferi. They then have Wooburg, which is enough to redeploy the first sliver, which we just bounce to the hand. Why did they quit there? That is a very strange quit. We should have lost that. We really should. Okay, today's video is Kellan the Kid, who interestingly was requested by one of my patrons, the Analog Kid. So thank you for this. It was a really awesome deck to kind of get to grips with, and it's really quite technical, which it's part of why I love Magic. The hoops you can jump through to get some really cool rewards. So the Analog Kid wanted me to create this with a few more things in mind apart from just plot, because plot is obvious, because it's the mechanic of the set. So I tried to think what else we could use to synergize with it, and there is actually a surprising amount of cards that do synergize with this, actually. Going forward, it will just get better and better. One of the first things I thought of was Flashback. You can cast this from the graveyard for 5 mana, rather than, well, the secondary cost rather than primary cost. When you do, whenever you cast a card from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a card with equal or lesser mana cost from your hand without paying its mana cost. So it's basically a free card. If you don't, you can put a land into play, which is pretty awesome. A little bit of ramp there as well. So what else do we have? We have Flashback. We also have Escape, which is very similar to Flashback. You can do this repetitively over and over again, so that's pretty good as well. We also have Chimmel, which gives us Discover. So Discover lets you cast off from exile. So that's going to be really nice. We have stuff like Scholar of the Lost Trove and Torrential Gearhulk, which lets you cast spells from your graveyard without paying its mana cost in some respects, or some of them will say that. Elrond lets you foretell a spell and play this from the exile zone. And what else do we have? Yeah, foretell there as well. And Discover. Yeah, so we've got quite a few ways that we can essentially abuse or synergize Kellan's ability. And it makes him really cool, really nice. Flashback. I think God Eternal Cabinet is a bit underrated as well, because this lets you cast a copy of the spell. I'm just thinking now, whenever you cast a permanent spell with equal mana less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So yeah, it's let me just think of this for a sec. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent spell. So God Eternal Cabinet says, reveal the first card you draw. You can reveal it and cast a copy, but it's still casting it. So it should count. I think it should count. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all these things work. And I'll definitely recommend Sword of Once Future King as well, because it lets you surveil, put stuff in the graveyard, and cast something from the graveyard. So yeah, there's I do think there's a lot of interesting ways this deck can go. But I definitely think this is a pretty solid version of it. So let's find out today how well we do. I don't know what it is about today, but my god, risky keeps everywhere. And we're getting against Kenrith. Kenrith, my man. What a pain in the ain. Blue Source would be good. If we get Blue Source, we have all the colours we need. I don't trust this player. I don't trust this auto mechanic. He's got a porcupine or a thing on his sleeve. Whatever the hell that is. Let's go in weirdly early and aggressive with a sword. we desperately need lands. And surveilling them might be the only way here. Prophetic Prism. Is it an eggs build? Okay. Ooh. Elvish Mystic, attack! I think we surveil first, actually. Sorry, scry first. No way! That's... Okay, you actually want to keep that on top, because we can kill the prism with that. Because why not? And then we leave the land on top. LOLs! I mean, killing that ain't great, but it's a suspicious card, right? People don't use that unless they've got a reason to be using it. So we'll have to see. We've got protection from blue and black, which is nice. Chromatic Lantern. We can kill that with a Broken Bond as well, but I think that's just swinging first. This is kind of hilarious that our Elvish Mystic is just absolutely dominating with the Giant Sword here. Brawl's Expertise, I like that. I want to leave that on top. And we're not going to... So, okay, got a couple of options here. We just let them have the Chromatic Lantern for one turn, which means they can go for Kenrith. Or we can Broken Bond. Or we can go for Uro. There's so many options, aren't there? I think we Broken Bond the Chromatic Lantern. I think letting them have that is too risky. And also, if they play another rock next turn, we can be an absolute meanie with the Elvish Mystic and the sword and replay it. So, yeah, if they do play another rock here, they're just, they don't understand the power of the sword. The power of the sword is great. Okay, they're going to play another artifact. Nice. Nice. They can't block it either with our sword equipped. They could just kill our Elvish Mystic. Ah. Interesting. Okay. So now things have changed in which I just want to bounce that whole field. So, okay, if we get a blue source, we can just use Barrel's Expertise. And I think that's fine. I think that works. 1, 2, 3. Boing. And now we can cast Invasion, I suppose. Let's just slow him down a bit more. Oh my goodness. Just trolling Kenriths. Or, you know, this is the power of tempo, guys. Sometimes tempo is enough. You don't even have to kill anything to win. This is a pretty terrible hand, so I'm going to keep it. Yuma is 8 mana, though. Okay, so let's go with Batch here. We can just keep going for these Seville lands. Just so we can... kind of... when you Seville enough, it feels like you've drawn a card, right? Press enemy. Okay. Removal, counterspell, that's nice. Malcolm. Once we get Malcolm off to a good start, it would be nice to give us some extra value. So this costs 1 less for each land card in the graveyard. Whenever it enters battlefield, you must sacrifice the land if you draw a card. Whenever a desert is put into your graveyard, create a thing. My goodness. That's a lot of words. I think we're just going to screw him over here, which is the way. This is the way. We're going to go for the Confounding Conundrum, which will stop any extra lands coming in. We'll also fragmentize their ramp, which feels a bit mean, but there we go. And then we're going to get Malcolm on the loose. We'll discard the... do we discard Dead Judgment? Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to lose to Malcolm. Malcolm's too invaluable here. But we may have, in essence, set them back 2 turns with the Confounding Conundrum and the Fragmentize. Okay. So they're going to go for the discard draw. Interesting. See what we get here. Invasion. Well, they don't have anything on the field, so let's just get rid of the River's Rebuke for now. I'm not too bothered about that. Skyclave, not too bothered about that either. So, I'll tell you what. No, I want to leave the green mana up. I want to leave the Tamiyo safekeeping up, really. Jeez, man. They really didn't want us looking in their hand, did they? That's just so weird when... I guess when people quit from an Invasion of Gobekhan, that's a weird card to quit to. Unless the only card in their hand was a low mana card and they had to cast it in order to survive. But I don't know, maybe we locked them down too hard with the Confounding Conundrum. It just feels like a strange concession at that exact point, but who knows what they had. Again, I really wish, and Wizards, if you're watching, just show me the opponent's hand when I win the game, you know? There's no harm in that, is there? I'm going to quickly interrupt this video to tell you this video is not sponsored, and because of that, the channel does need help from people like you. So if you do want to support the channel in your own way, you can like and subscribe, which is completely free. But if you want to go the extra mile, you can donate to the channel via my Ko-fi link below, or become a channel patron. And if you become a channel patron, you can get a custom video of your choice. Check out the details below. Oh yes, we're facing the ugly little freak. Vile Smasher, Gleeful Grenadier. I love how nerfed he is now. Like in Commander, he's a CDH card. If you don't know what CDH is, it's basically competitive Commander. And if you don't know what EDH is, then it's Elder Dragon Highlander, which is the original name for the Singleton format. Magic is very complicated, isn't it? It really, really is. We can't actually do much. I'm just going to play the most complicated game on Earth with the most complicated land base in the galaxy. I have to admit, my land base is insanity. Tap lands, fetch lands into triomes or Seville lands, check lands, 2 or more other lands, to a few other lands. We've got a land that destroys things. This could be cool though. I mean, if it's an outlaw tribal deck. Bitter Blossom. Ayaya, Power Rangers. So that makes rogues. We'll probably want a green one. Yeah, let's go for Seville. We want to see something nice on top, please. Or maybe something for the bin. Wrath of God. Now that's a card I can get behind. Especially considering they're a tribally build. They're a tribally build. At some point, we might want to use the Bossagio on the Bitter Blossom. And the only issue with that is it does ramp them. So now Bitter Blossom hurts both players. That's kind of cool. But they have to be cautious because we have the Wrath of God. This rewards them for playing creatures. So if they don't play creatures, they're not doing the thing. I love the way he's literally got grenades. What's this? Rattleback Apothecary. Whenever you commit a crime, target creature you control gains your choice of menace or lifelink. Ah, it's kind of cool. Another creature. Oh my goodness, this is really doing a number on us, isn't it? Down to 15. Discard a land to basically get a land. And we need to wipe out the field here because it's getting to stupidly powerful levels already. Even with just, you know, basic stuff. Look at the artwork on that. It's so detailed. All the snakes and things and the glowing stuff. Fragmentize. That's an answer we could probably use. Yeah, I think we need to fragmentize this, TBH. And here's the thing. Kellan, why does it want to tap all the green? Oh, because the strand. That's why. So yeah, we can go for Kellan and leave up the green for Heroic Intervention. And I think from this position onwards, we're in a very commanding state. And they can probably... oh dear. Intervention. Do we just use the Surge, probably? Go for the Surge. Because it also prevents damage from black and red. It's literally the perfect card. I have a Lightning Bolt as well. Yeah, that's a shame. Having two answers is a bit of a shame. We couldn't have accounted for that, unfortunately. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can pick ourselves up and try again. That's the cowboy way, isn't it? Let's swing in with this guy. We can't block, so we have pretty good... I mean, if they wanted a double block, go ahead. Okay, let's try again. Hopefully they don't have two removal spells. But yeah, if Kellan goes unchecked, we probably win this one. Magda the Horde Master. What the hell is that? Whenever you commit a crime, create a treasure. Sack 3 treasures to get a 4/4 Scorpion Dragon. Wow, that artwork is absolutely fantastic. That is so freaking awesome. And / terrifying. Wow. Target opponent. This is a really good deck they've built. Swords to Plowshares. Okay, I think we probably... although that's got Death Touch. So maybe not then. Right, let's go over the top. The double block, we just swords one of them. Probably the Magda. No? Okay. Yes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. I think we do go for the Sentinel, to be honest. Just to make them think about what they're doing a bit more. 7 with the Stinger. They like Scorpion tails and Stingers, and I feel like the warping on this card hurts my brain a bit. Black Market Connections. Okay. So Held into History can't counter that, which is kind of annoying. It only gets artifacts or creatures. Very sad times indeed. That's an artifact. Do we care about that, though? Do we really care about that? 5 mana to counter an Arcade Signet. I don't think that's very good, to be honest. And they're just going to go over the top. We got ourselves a battle, guys. We got ourselves a battle. Okay. Okay, I think we're definitely going to get rid of the Magda because of the fact it can make silly dragons, and I'm not really in the mood to deal with those. Okay. Let's go to combat. Nice. Making more blockers. Eventually, when we get 3 spirits, we can triple block the Servant of the Stinger. So we want them to play something big. A big artifact or a big creature. Because then we can discover and get some free value. Now, Kellan's value when we have no cards in hand doesn't feel so good. Because we're not getting to play anything for free. I mean, Mind Stone. Do I really care about that? Probably not. At this point, I think Kellan is the only way we're going to win here. And maybe the black market connections. If you've committed a crime, sacrifice it. If you do, search library for a card, put it into your hand. What the actual hell? That's an uncommon. Bro, that's broken as hell. An uncommon 2-mana card. Whenever it deals damage, if you've committed a crime, you may sack it to search for a card. Are you serious? That is so broken for 2 mana. Power creep is ridiculous nowadays. You've committed a crime. It's not even like committing a crime is a hard thing to do. Do you guys think this is broken? I don't normally say things are broken that often, but that does feel kind of ridiculous, I have to say. Good thing we saved Helen to history, because we would have probably died to that. Raven form. Nice. Get rid of the Vile Smasher. I think, okay, now we're in a fantastic position. Okay. Nice. Fragment Reality. So we've got lots of good stuff. We're very kind of stally, aren't we? We don't really have any oomph here. But yeah, I think I just need to be grateful that the Jasper Flint didn't resolve, because they would have been able to exile the top X because of our library X as the number of outlaws they had, which would have been 4 at that point in time. Grim Tutor. So they've just used 2 tutors in a row. That is really not great. But they do lose life. Interesting. So they let us draw our first card as well with the Sentinels, which means they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to play with. Roaming Throne. I'm afraid they're not going to be happy with this. If they're going to try and kill us with the Vile Smasher double triggers, it ain't going to work, I'm afraid, dude. Because we do have the answer in hand, sadly, for them. Mercenary, and he is a mercenary. And then the Surveil. I have to give it to them. Their timing on things is immaculate. That is the correct order of things. Because if they had Surveilled before tutoring, it would have shuffled. I will get rid of this, though. Because it is interesting that they searched for it in the first place. Kind of concerning. They actually got a Priest of Forgotten Gods, though. That could have been good. Oh, well. But yeah, that was a really interesting game. I feel like even though they had the 2 tutors, we just got seriously lucky. But there's also something to be said about withholding power. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I feel like a lot of players would have just counted their thing, whatever it was early on, and they wouldn't have got that much value from it. But yeah, I think withholding this here, I was so tempted to use it on those artifacts just because I could. But yeah, because I didn't, I was really rewarded by not dying, essentially. And yeah, I just kind of can't believe it. Tell me in the comments below, what am I missing here? This is broken, right? 2 mana uncommon. This is ridiculous. Tell me what you think about this card. So my experience with Kellan the Kid was an interesting one. I think I went in with a lot of hype, and I feel like underperformed, but not in such a detrimental way that I wouldn't want to use it again. I think the main issue here is keeping the consistent value in your hand. I think that's always been an issue with commanders that say you may do X from your hand in addition. I think the reason something like Uro works is because you're constantly refueling by drawing. But if it just said you may play an additional land and you gain 3, it just wouldn't be played, I don't think. Maybe not. But Kellan really lacks in late game oomph. Whereas something like Shana, which is one of my other favourite band commanders, I actually have this in real life because I really just love the design. She just lets you always continuously draw and refuel, which can be really intimidating. You know, once you've drawn 3, 4, 5, 6 cards from Shana, you're probably going to win the game. Kellan always allows you to at least put a land down, but I just think maybe I'm not using them correct, but I've literally put in as much synergy as possible sans the plot mechanic, because the plot stuff, none of it really excited me that much, but I still appreciate how he works with the older mechanics. I think that's really wonderful kind of design when the new stuff works with the old and vice versa. Maybe I just got unlucky and didn't really get too many cards that drew, because I just feel like I had a few games in the end there where I kind of just prayed for a top deck, but then the top deck wouldn't really synergize with Kellan because there was nothing else in my hand. But maybe you can tell me below what I'm doing wrong. People normally like to do that anyway. Lol. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I still really think the deck was kind of cool. It was definitely an original and unique way of building Bant with the twist of down payments to recoup later, you know, and maybe the deck just needs more discover, or I don't know, more raw power to win early, because it's in the middle of an aggro, well, not aggro, but it's in the middle of kind of like a mid-range to control speed. So we don't really have any early pressure at all. If you look at our 1 and 2 drops, it's just support cards. It's only when you get into 3, 4 mana that we start looking at stuff that may potentially be considered a threat. I think that's an issue that a lot of players have. They kind of just build dirtly decks that don't actually have an end game, which can be very frustrating to play against. Like a few decks I faced today were just pure counter builds, and that's just not fun. So you just win out of sheer frustration, which some people might enjoy, but yeah. But if you like the deck list, don't forget the deck list is in the description below. Thank you, Analog Kid, for suggesting Kellan. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's not as powerful as I had anticipated, but there is a lot of room to grow for the command. Obviously, it's just the new kid on the block. Lots of exploration to be potentially had, and maybe a new archetype will come out that will make him strong. But yeah, I think the main way he will be strong is, funnily enough, in my Paper Commander Shana deck, he is in there, because one thing that you can't take advantage of when Kellan is your commander is if you cast your commander, you draw a card. Well, no, you don't draw a card, sorry. You can cast a card from your hand with equal mana cost or less. So yeah, so if you have him out and then you play Shana, you get to trigger because she's in the command zone. But yeah, that's another story anyway. It doesn't work in this format, sadly. That's hit with him as the commander. But yeah, if you like the idea of having your own custom video, why not join the Patreon, in which you can get your own custom video and you can forever be immortalized on YouTube. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.